Hi, good evening from the Verizon Center. I am Joshua Vincent for Fox Sports 1340 AM, WHAP, Virginia's #1 source for all things Washington Wizards. I'm alongside Wally and Kobe. How are you guys doing tonight? 121-1, the best start we've ever seen the Wizards get off to. Kobe, take it away. What did you see from the Wizards tonight?
Like you said, Josh, just a quick start. Got off to a 10-0 run, and we haven't seen that much, especially this year from the Wizards. We're used to seeing them digging themselves a hole, down double digits, not being able to really get out of it until maybe the third quarter. We saw that with a less talented Philadelphia team the other night. But tonight, they start in reverse. They're the ones that were digging the hole, and they never look back. We saw a lead as high as 30.
Yeah.
And Brooks, head coach Scott Brooks, they had to put in Markieff Morris, John Wall, Bradley Beal at the end to kind of secure that win.
Yeah.
But other than that, just their execution was just on another level tonight. And we saw that a little bit. You can credit that to Portland's defense that has struggled all year long. And Wally talked to a couple of the Portland players about that, especially C.J. McCollum. They were men of few words after tonight's loss. They go to 18-25 and still in the playoff picture for the West.
That's
but,
true.
Definitely not on the rise as of right now.
That's true. Before we go to the locker room, let's bring you in, Wally. What did you see from Portland? They got down 10-0 just right out the gate. Second game in a row they did that. What's going on with that backcourt? That's one of the most dominant backcourts in the league right now.
Well, again, they look a little tired, a little sluggish. You had Dame Lillard score 22 points. He came on pretty much towards the second half. And then you had C.J. McCollum only scored 12. He really pretty much had a bad game. And defensively, he wasn't there. And we saw that he came out early because he wasn't really guarding Bradley Beal correctly. So, the coach made a change to put Crabbe in the game, so just a defensive-minded player. But to me, the Portland Trailblazers backcourt got outplayed by the Wizards backcourt.
Yeah.
And you're looking at John Wall and Bradley Beal. They combined for 49 points.
Yes, they did.
Bradley Beal had 25. John Wall had 24. Then you look at what they produced in Portland. C.J. McCollum had 12 and Lillard had 22. So if you compare it to what happened last year, MLK Day, it's vastly different. But last year you saw C.J. McCollum, I believe, he had to have 25, and Lillard he was 18, was minimum, but still he played a decent game. So if you look at what compared to last year to this year in terms of MLK Day, this Wizards backcourt outplayed the Portland Trailblazers.
Yeah. Well, let's take it to the locker room first on the Blazers side of things. This is what C.J. McCollum and Damian Lillard have to say post game.
Down 10-0. Similar to the last game, bad starts, easy shots. Bill got an easy layup start the game, and then another 3. Morris hit a 3. Before you know it, we got 10 points right there.
What is
10-0. And counting. They're aggressive. Wall does a good job of setting the table for everybody. We're a lot of floppy, a lot of transition. He's pushing the tempo. He's aggressive in transition for his shot as well. And they're very good. Very good team.
There's really no excuse. Second game in a row where we didn't have a great start to the game. We didn't really execute well either end of the floor. It doesn't help when you're on the road and you're playing against a team that's playing really well right now. They're playing really well. We definitely didn't have what we needed to have to come up with a win against that team.
On the other side of this, Kobe, 12 straight wins here at home at the Red Check Mark at the Verizon Center for this Wizards team. Kelly Oubre spoke about consistency after the game. How can this team continue to do this moving forward and then also on the road? Because it's like they could win at home, but then they get to New York and Detroit and Charlotte later on in the week. How do they keep that momentum going?
I think it's just a focus thing. I think they come into here with that confidence already that look, we have 11 straight wins. We haven't seen the Wizards team in history really come in here and say, we have to defend our home floor.
That's true.
A lot of the arguments that we hear, not a lot of fans in the stands.
Right.
There was a good turnout.
Oh
today.
yeah, great turnout.
So I think that's something that keeps the ball rolling. But wins like this, yes, they know the road wins are a problem.
Yeah.
So they're gonna go forward and try to execute better on the road. I think it's just a thing of execution, just getting into their sets quicker. And then of course it all starts at the defensive end. The NBA is such a league that is transitioning into offense, just like the NFL, every sport, every professional sport, really.
That's true.
But defense wins championships still to this day. Ask the San Antonio Spurs.
Yeah.
So I think when they're locked in defensively, like we saw tonight, granted, Portland we're just missing shots. That's
true
what
too.
Coach Brooks said after the game. They said yes, the Wizards played well, but Portland was just missing easy bunnies at the end and at the beginning. Really, that was for their slow start.
Yeah.
I think, they just have to come out, play confident like they did today, ready to play from the tip. And, of course, contributions from the bench with Kelly Oubre. We saw Tomas Satoransky come off and supply, a great amount of energy. I think when they get that, when the bench plays even to an average level, this team goes to another level. They go into that top 5 seed in the East.
For sure.
But in the beginning of the year when they were struggling, that bench was playing below par.
That's true.
And they were struggling. They were struggling as a result of it.
And they were one of the main reasons why this team was losing. Sometimes you'll see earlier in the season this bench will come in and then they'll give up a lead. Even we saw that today in the fourth quarter. This game almost started to become a game again when the entire bench was out there. But, Brooks always have one starter out there with them. Let's go live to the Wizards locker room. We got a chance to speak to Kelly Oubre, as mentioned before, about consistency and how they can bring this type of energy on the road. And also John Wall has some good words to say about Oubre as well.
Energy. You got to bring energy each and every night, carry out game plan, and just do, the things that I did tonight to help me be successful. Just be running all over the place, getting rebounds, getting stops, and, running the floor. So, I know that helps me be successful.
12 is great. It's a big honor to play on this day. It means a lot to us and our teammates, and to come out and play as well as we did and get a win, it means a lot more. Just about every game we try to get Brad going earlier. It's the key. He comes out of the game a little early in the first quarter, so just to get him into a good rhythm. I think Kelly came out the bench and played well for us. Took over shots when they were there. Played great defense and did a great job of crashing the board.
All right, back here at the Verizon Center, getting ready to wrap this up. Wally, let's preview this game really quickly. Coming up, Memphis Grizzlies. They lost the other day on Martin Luther King's actual birthday down in Memphis, Tennessee. They come up here to the Verizon Center trying to give some competition to the Wizards. What do you see about that matchup between the Grizzlies and the Wizards coming up on Wednesday?
It's grindhouse. It's grindhouse. When you play in Memphis, you got to grind.
Yeah.
You get Tony Allen. That's a guy who's going to play. He's going to probably check Bradley Beal or John Wall. So they're going to have to be ready to compete and play at a high level. Then you have Zebo off the bench. You got Marc Gasol, one of the best bigs out there in basketball. Period. So they got a lot to work. Obviously, Gortat. He's going to have to work against him. Smith.
Yeah.
My man, one of his good friends.
Gortat really struggled to guard Gasol last game when they played at Memphis.
Okay.
Gasol has that ability now to step beyond 3-point.
Yeah.
And Gortat, when he's facing a big guy like that, he always seems to struggle.
Yeah.
Just because he doesn't have elite athleticism. And neither does Gasol, but he's crafty. We all know, like Wally said, he's one of the top big men in the game. And you have to put in the mind that Mike Conley's playing at a very high level.
That's true, too.
And, him matching up with John Wall, I think they match up very well against the Wizards. You throw Tony Allen at Bradley Beal, you throw Conley right on Wall. It's going to be a handful. Maybe a difference maker, because as you said, Keith's going to have his hands full with Zebo. Yeah. Maybe we see Otto Porter have another breakout game. I don't know how Parsons is with his health,
right?
But he's been up and down, and the 3 spot has kind of been a hole for Memphis for years now. And with Otto such on a tear, maybe he can he can take advantage. I'm sure that's going to be one of their game plans.
It's interesting that you mentioned the 3, because we were live down there in Memphis. That was the second game of the season. That is when the Grizzlies, I thought they tapped into their inner Golden State Warriors. They were raining threes. I think Vince Carter had 6 threes himself that game. And the game went into overtime, and it was just terrible for the Wizards. So they definitely want to get back into that. What you want to add, Wally?
But this is what I want to say about like the John Wall. John Wall to me right now is playing at such a high level that I don't even think there's any point guard that can really play with him at this point in time. If you're playing him, we're looking at that head-on collision, unless we're talking about Russell Westbrook or something, right? But right now, John Wall to me is a top 5 point guard, and arguably I can go top 3. The way he's playing right now, he's willing this team to right now 2 games over 500. This team is on his shoulder, and you can tell about just him being the emotional leader. You saw him set up Gortat for a sweet layup, and he's running back, showboating and whatnot. He's playing at a high level, and he's uber confident. I think that's very important. That when a superstar, it just shows his talent. That's one thing. But when they're overly confident, like where John Wall is at right now, that is a dangerous beast right now.
Young guys like Oubre and McClellan and Satoransky, when they get off the bench, they feed off that.
Yeah, they do. All right. Well, once again, 120-101. This was a landslide victory. Really, the score doesn't really give it justice. As Kobe mentioned earlier, it was almost a 30-point game. Yeah. They were up by as many as 30 at one point. Well, Coming up 7 o'clock p.m. on Wednesday, a couple of days from now, the Washington Wizards will host the Memphis Grizzlies and then go on to New York for a back-to-back against Derrick Rose and Carmelo Anthony. That's a struggling team who just lost to the Atlanta Hawks. Wow, a lot of things going on there in New York. You know, you would have thought earlier in the season, the way things were going for the Knicks and the super team comment made by Rose during the offseason, you would have thought that team would have been a little better than what they are.
The Knicks gonna Nick.
The Knicks are going to Knicks. Well, for now, for Joshua, Vincent, and Kobe, and Wally, for Fox Sports 1340 AM WHAP, your #1 source in Virginia for all things Washington Wizards. Good night from the Verizon Center.